Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to give you a top tip on how I start off my peas to get really effective germination. So if you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year from my home garden, my allotment and also my home kitchen. Now I'm going to be starting off some mange tous. So the process I use for starting off these mange tous, you could do for all sorts of peas. You could always do them for different types of runner beans and French beans. I've been doing this process for many years and it's what my dad used to do and my grandfather used to do. So rather than just sowing them direct into the soil from the packet, I have a slightly different method. Now the first thing I do is obviously open the packet. I put some of the seeds into a bowl, like that. And you see, just in the bowl like that. I then cover them with water, like that. And I leave them overnight to soak. The reason I do this method is that quite often when you germinate things like peas or runner beans, they rot in the ground and they never germinate, and doing them this way means that they at least start the germination process and they're far more likely and effective to actually produce some plants, and that's what you're after. The last thing you want to do is waste soil in module trays and the peas and the beans that you've bought. You know, you want to as many to germinate as possible. Now once this has soaked overnight, the next thing I do is I drain the water off of these peas. So like I said, those peas had soaked overnight. I've now drained them, and the next thing I'm going to do is to put a little bit of tissue, just like this normal kitchen roll, in a container, and I'm going to pop the peas on it and spread them out. So they're just in the container like that, and just gently spread them out. I'm then going to put a little bit more water on the tissue just to keep it damp. So a little bit more water. You're not soaking these in loads of it. You soak them overnight. They've already absorbed a lot of that water. You just want the tissue to absorb it so they stay moist. So move that around so it's all the tissue's moist, covering the peas. And then you don't have to put a cover on it, but I do because it works like a little mini propagator. I just pop a little lid on it like that, and I'll check them every day to see whether they've started to germinate. And if we move over to these ones here that have been germinating for a couple of days now, I kept them in a warmish room in my house. That obviously helps with the germination process as well. So you wouldn't put these out in, outside or in your greenhouse unless it was heated. So these have been in my lounge where I know it's nice and warm. And if we open them up, you can see the magic has started to happen. So can you see they've started to sprout? That's the first signs of growth. So that's really fantastic. So those ones that have started to sprout, I can then plant those. Now I can either plant them straight in the ground outside, and if I did that I'd probably put a cloche over them to give them a good start, or I could start them in little module trays in my greenhouse. Now I'm probably going to start mine off in a big tray because I quite like to have pea shoots early in the season. So some of the ones I start off I'll use as pea shoots just to put in my salads, and the other ones I will use to bring on further to actually have peas or mange tous, all depending which ones I've started off. Now I really hope that's helped you and you're going to have much more successful germination with peas, and it'd be great to hear whether you've started off any peas yet too.